When you don't eat dairy, soy, gluten or egg, what to pack in your lunchbox for a snack can be tricky. We've dedicated a whole episode to snack ideas. First up, we've got Anne. I can't wait to see what she's going to make for a healthy lunchbox snack with these.
If you're looking for another snack to put in your kids' lunchboxes, muesli bars are a great option. But there are a lot of muesli bars out there on the market at the moment that don't cater for intolerances. So I'm going to show you an alternative that I've come up with, which I love. Now this is a dairy-free recipe because I need dairy-free cooking. But I've called it my 150 gram muesli bars because there is 150 grams of everything except the baking powder. That only has a teaspoon. All right, so we want 150 grams of butter. Again, I'm using a dairy-free alternative butter. If you would prefer not to use any butter at all, you can use eggs, which will help bind it together. We want 150 grams of flour, 150 grams of rolled oats, and then 150 grams of nuts, whichever nuts you want. I'm using almond meal today. You might want to mix it up, use some cashews, use some macadamias, whatever it is that you prefer. I'm using 150 grams of fruit and seeds. So today I'm using cranberries and chia seeds because they're my absolute favourite. But you can use dried apricots, sultanas, any other dried fruit you like. You can put in sesame seeds, poppy seeds, whatever it is. But you want 150 grams of nuts and seeds, 150 grams of fruit. So just blend it all together, see which flavours you like. We're also going to use 150 grams of sweetener. Now I'm using honey today, but you could use 150 grams of maple syrup or golden syrup, or you can, again, mix and match. So you can use 50 grams of one, 50 grams of another, and really blend those flavours together. So what we're going to do is put it all in, mix it, put it in the oven. It's very straightforward. All right, that's all mixed together now. I'm just going to pop it into my dish. Because I am a bit of a hands-on cook, I like to press this bit down with my fingers. That goes into the oven at around 170. If you have fan forced oven, perhaps 160. Put it on for about 20 to 30 minutes, checking your times, checking your oven temperatures. When it comes out, you're going to be amazed. Delicious, delicious, delicious. So once they're nice and golden brown, take them out of the oven, let them cool completely before cutting them up. You can cut them into whatever sizes you like, depending on how old your children are and how much they just love eating muesli bars. But there you have it. Delicious, homemade, dairy-free for me, muesli bars.
Lisa's going to make a muesli bar without adding any gluten, dairy, soy, nuts or eggs. She tells me she's going to get the crunch from bikinis.
So here's my muesli bars with a bit of a twist. So the challenge for me was to make a gluten-free muesli bar. Now, because muesli bars usually have oats, they contain gluten. So I've gone with rice flakes today as my base for the muesli bar. But I've got a couple of surprises in here that you're not going to expect. But one thing I really wanted to achieve with this muesli bar was a crunch, because I like crunchy muesli bars. So I'll show you how I achieved that in a second. So to get started, the base of this muesli bar is ground medjool dates with lentils. The dates are going to provide the sweetness and the stickiness, but the lentils are going to provide a bit more bulk, and also they're an excellent source of protein. So we're going to blend this all together until we make a nice paste, and then we're going to add the other ingredients in. Now, a handy tip with the dates is firstly soak them for about an hour before you're going to use them. The water's going to retain some of that sweetness, and we're going to use a tablespoon of that water in the blender just to help it blend everything together. And the other handy tip is make sure you pitted your dates, but also chop them before you put them in the blender, so that way it's going to blend a lot better. Tablespoon of date water, and go, blend. Okay, so this is perfect consistency. There are a few pieces still in there which will be really nice when you bite into the bar, but mostly it's pureed. And the good thing about the pureed bits is the sweetness is just going to subtly carry through the whole bar. Okay, so now we're ready to mix it all together. The other sweetness that I've got in the muesli bars are dried figs. I absolutely love these. They're a beautiful source of minerals and fibre, and they're just sweet and delicious. So they're going to go really nice and very subtle, and it's going to really nicely match the flavour of the dates. So you just chop them roughly. The smaller the piece, the more likely you are to get a little bit of fig in each bite. So dates for sweetness, rice flakes for that oaty look and to also give it a bit more body. Mixed spice and the secret crunchy ingredient. Here it is. It's activated bikinis. It's buckwheat. The name is misleading, but is actually not related to the wheat family at all. And so with these bikinis, they have been soaked to be activated to release the nutrients and to make the minerals in there more bioavailable for the body. And then they've actually been dehydrated again, so they're still crunchy. So you could do this yourself if you had a dehydrator. But if you didn't, you'd just be soaking them and then they wouldn't be quite as crunchy in the muesli bar. So that's why I've gone for the activated bikini. And these ones in particular have also had extra flavours caramelised with them. So I found this is just easiest to mix with bare hands. Okay, so this is enough to make 4 large muesli bars. So I've just formed it together. It can be quite sticky, so make sure you get a tray and your greaseproof paper set up before. And then just form them with your hands. Now if you find it a bit sticky and a bit messy, just wet your hands with water first and that'll help you form the bar better. So we're going to pop them in a fan forced oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes. And there we have it. Crunchy muesli bars fresh out of the oven. And I've achieved that crunch without adding any nuts, and they're gluten-free too. They make a fantastic snack in the kids' lunchbox.
Now we've got Hayley showing you how to make a raw granola slice.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a raw granola bar without using any nuts. The basis of this recipe will be to blend soaked sunflower seeds, medjool dates, coconut oil and coconut nectar in the blender until smooth. Now I've got the soaked medjool dates, just soak them for an hour. Also soaked sunflower seeds, coconut nectar and coconut oil. Now I'm just going to blend this together until it's smooth. So now this should be smooth consistency. It's nice and thick and this is going to help bind it all together so that it holds. Now we'll add in the dry ingredients and stir it all together. Sunflower seeds, desiccated coconut, ground flax meal, sesame seeds, goji berries, and ground vanilla bean. Now I'm just going to mix that all up. This looks like the perfect texture, everything's nice and combined. Now I'm going to pop this into a baking tray or a glass dish and pop it in the freezer to set for half an hour. So I've got just a glass dish that I've lined with baking paper. So all I'm going to do is smooth this out so it's nice and even. Now I'm just going to pop it into the freezer to set. Now this has been set in the freezer for half an hour and it's ready to be sliced into pieces. Now I'm just going to pop these back into the freezer. You can either store them there or in the refrigerator. It's really important to keep them stored chilled as the coconut oil softens at room temperature.
Glenys is going to show us how to make a choc orange slice. The twist.
This orange chocolate fudge calls for the use of 2 eggs, but I'm going to show you how to make it without eggs, an egg alternative. So first you need, for 2 eggs, you'll need 2 tablespoons of flax seeds, which I'm going to grind in a coffee grinder. And now I'm just going to pulse these until it becomes a fine powder. Okay. Pop this back into the bowl. You can see it's turned into quite a fine powder. And for each egg you need 3 tablespoons of water. So I have the equivalent for 2 eggs, I have 6 tablespoons of water. And now we'll put this aside to thicken for at least 5 minutes. You know that the egg alternative is done when it's all thick like this. We're going to add in our pre-soaked medjool dates with its soaking juice, and we're going to blend this up so it's quite fine. So to the dates, we'll add our egg alternative, our vegetables, and chia seeds. We're going to pop that on high. It's the vegetables that gives a lot of moisture to this fudge. I find the best way in keeping the most nutrition in the vegetables and making this recipe is by steaming them. And we'll push all down the sides and give it another blend. You could also add into your vegetable mix some really lovely sweet apples or pears. And to that we're going to add the nutritional yeast, the vanilla. I'm going to take the zest of an orange. I'm just going to give that one last blend. And then I'm just going to add the baking powder and the cacao. You can hand blend this in, and if the mixture is looking a little bit dry, just add a little bit more water to it until you're happy with the consistency. And boy, can I smell this beautiful mixture of chocolate and orange. I've got a sliced tin here that I've lightly greased, and I'm going to put the mixture onto it to around about 1 centimetre thick. Just with the back of a wet spoon, just going to flatten out the slice. It's not an exact science. Now that that's reasonably flat, we're going to pop it into the middle shelf of a preheated oven, 170 degrees, for 15 to 20 minutes. And here it is, the finished product, the orange chocolate slice. So it looks like a fudge and it tastes like a fudge. If you wanted a little bit more sweeter for your fussy eaters, you could add some rice malt syrup to it. But who would have guessed that you would be able to hide these vegetables in a delicious slice? Now even the fussiest of children, and adults for that matter, will never ever know.
So there you have it, 4 different snack ideas. Give it a go and let us know what you think. And if you want to see what the girls are up to next, head on over to the website and sign up for the newsletter to stay up to date with all the latest. Without any gluten, joy? Without any. She doesn't have any joy.
No joy. Joy-free zone.
Because it isn't.